What's up, YouTube land? K-Dub here with a video for my YouTube channel. Here to talk about LeBron James interview at the presser before Game 4. As he predicts, he feels like his Cavaliers have a chance in Game 4, just like I felt like they had a chance in Game 3. But I don't think the Cavaliers have much of a shot, man. I mean, the Golden State have to win one game to win the NBA championship. They were down 3-1 last year, and they seen what happened when they let their guard down. So I don't see that happening again. But my video is not about the NBA Finals. Well, it's about the same two teams, but it's about LeBron James and Kevin Durant, both for their decision to go to separate teams. Now, when LeBron James went to Miami, he's saying that his decision is different than what Kevin Durant did, saying Kevin Durant went to a team that was already established and a team that already had a system, and he just tagged along. Well, and then saying, well, Miami, it wasn't, they had to build a system there and everything like that, and they weren't established as a team. But I don't go for that. I think it's the same situation, when you look at the dynamics of everything and you look at the players involved in Miami's dynasty. Well, look, not a dynasty, they only won 2 titles, but, the little mini, domination of the league they had for 4 straight years. I mean, you took Dwayne Wade, who still had a lot left, to be considered one of the greatest players in the NBA at that time. He was a man on his own team on Miami. Then you take Chris Bosh, from the Toronto Raptors. And then you also take LeBron James from the Cleveland Cavaliers. So you took 3 stars that carried 3 franchises and you put them on one team together. Now, in all fairness to LeBron, the whole, we had to develop a system thing, I totally get it. I mean, those 3 had to learn how to play together, had to learn how to sacrifice their games for each other. They're all used to shooting the ball, having their own basketball team. So, yes, I would see why it would be hard for them to, show that they could coexist with each other. But when you look at the dynamics, like I said before, you took 3 players, 2 of the greatest players in the NBA at that time, 3 top Olympian players that played on the Olympic team, and you put them on one team together and basically killed the talent pool in the East. So, Cleveland took a half a year to develop. I mean, Miami took a half a year to develop chemistry and still got it together and dominated the league. So let's not act like, they didn't have, a legitimate shot to win the NBA championship with 3 Olympians, 3, big stars like Chris Bosh, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade on their team. They definitely had a shot. The Bulls was the second team right near them, but the Bulls were more of a team that were based on, one star surrounded by a bunch of, role players. Carlos Boozer didn't pan out the way he was supposed to. But if you take my Bulls out, you had other teams like the Boston Celtics was on the down age. They were getting older. So, we had, 3 Olympians all in their primes, all able to carry a franchise. And you put them all together on one team. And we're supposed to say, oh, because Miami didn't win a championship the year before, that this was the same. I just don't agree with that assessment, but a lot of people, and listen, I know I'm wearing Bulls gear and I'm a Bulls fan, but I'm being completely unbiased right now. When you're doing videos and you're trying to, talk to the public about sports, you got to be unbiased. This don't have nothing to do with the Chicago Bulls, but Miami was the dominant team at that time. They had the better roster, and all they had to do was develop chemistry, but you knew once they got it together, they were going to dominate the league. So is it really different than what Kevin Durant did? I don't think so. The Warriors lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They needed an edge. They needed to add somebody else to their team to put them over the top. And they added Kevin Durant. You know, if they were good enough to win without Kevin Durant, they would have did it the year before. But you know, yeah, they got that one championship without Kevin Durant, but they fell a few steps back and needed to add him. So you know, well, you know, Golden State was established championship team already. So in that regard, yes, I think he does have a point in that regard too. But like I said, when you knew that once Chris Bosh, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade got together, they were the favorite in the East, and everybody was like planning to beat them, and everybody gave them their best. And they were the number one seed in the East. No, they weren't the number one seed in the East. I'm sorry, they were number 2 seed in the East. The Bulls were. But you knew once they got everything together, it was going to be hard to beat those guys. So no, I agree. It was the same situation. Kevin Durant just jumped on a championship team that fell back a few pegs. So it is different, but not that much different, you know, because LeBron James basically lost and left, you know, to go to form a team and plan to form a super team so he can dominate the league. So I don't think that's, you know, and this, if you ask me, it's even worse for LeBron because KD wasn't from Oklahoma City. He wasn't a native there. So he didn't turn his back on the home team. He just went and left and went somewhere where he could play team ball and win a championship. So let me know your thoughts. I know the video is a little dark. It's getting dark over here. But let me know your thoughts. Subscribe to my channel. Talk to you guys.